We move on to 1 p.m. Eastern. I was going to make this bet today, and all the money was on the other side. All the sharp action was on the other side. So I was like, what? I'll just sit back and, I guess take a second look at this, but also expect to get better number. And it's Carolina Panthers 5-6, 3-2 on the road at Miami Dolphins 4-7, 2-3 at home. I should have faded Cam Newton because I don't believe in him. I should have faded him last week. And, I don't see how I won't fade him here. The problem is, at this point, all of the sharp money is backing him. Carolina opens up at -1. There's been a 1 cent move towards Miami, just a 1 cent move. But when I come over to the cash, it's all Carolina cash. 69% of the tickets are on the Panthers. Now, there's only 3,000 tickets in, 3,064. 69% of the tickets, 81% of the cash is on the Panthers. Then 57% of the tickets, 68% of the cash is on the under. We're at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, 74 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 6 miles per hour. Carolina comes in off a 27-21 loss at home to Washington after starting 2-0. They've lost 4 straight now at Bank of America. Newton was 21-27 for 189 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He also ran the ball 10 times for 46 yards. So, look, I get that they like him better than PJ, but I don't understand why. I think that people just have this vividness. The people who are supporting him have this vividness love affair with him that I just don't have and never have had. What are we talking about? 2015 MVP? It's a long time ago. McCaffrey caught 7 passes for 60 yards and a touchdown, ran 10 times for 59 yards. Shout out to Sharpie for cashing that. Player prop, it was 115.5 and got to 119. DJ Moore caught 5 passes for 54 or 50 yards and a touchdown. Jeremy Chin had 13 tackles. He hasn't been as prevalent as I expected him to be this year. They got 3 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, and left tackle Dennis Daly left in the first quarter, did not return with a glute injury. He's listed as questionable. Dolphins came in off their 3rd straight victory, an easy 24-17 win at the Jets. I really like Brian Flores, and I think that affects me supporting the Dolphins too often. And I didn't back them, although I backed Flores. I took the Jets team total under, and I took the full game under, and those both cashed. So it was sort of like backing him. Tua Tagovailoa was 27-33 for 273 yards, 2 touchdowns in the pick. Mac Hollins caught 2 passes for 72 yards and 1 touchdown. Jalen Waddle caught 8 passes for 65 yards. Gesicki caught 5 for 50. Myles Gaskin ran 23 times for 89 yards. That hasn't happened all year. I'm not going to sit here and expect it to happen again against a better defense than the Panthers. But when they can run the ball, they're going to put up points, and they're never usually able to run the ball. The defense had 2 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. Linebacker Brendan Scarlett went out with a knee injury in the second quarter. He's been placed on IR. Safety Brandon Jones left with an elbow injury. He's listed as questionable. Cornerback Jamal Perry was carted to the sideline with an injured right knee. It's bad. He's on IR. And Flores said he's unsure if either wide receiver Will Fuller or Devontae Parker will be designated to return off IR this week, which makes me think that neither will. C-Mac, I want the Dolphins here, but clearly no rush. I could have got them today at plus 105 on the money line, and right now they are, I believe, still up plus 105 or plus 1 or minus 105. So nothing's changed there, but all this money's on the Panthers. Yeah. Can you create some clarity for me, C-Mac?
I think some people like the Panthers. One thing with the Panthers, they've been Jekyll and Hyde. They seem to play a little bit better on the road. Some NFL teams just are like that. Last week, though, we got to get to that quick. There's no way. I thought Washington, I love that game. I loved them getting 3 in the hook. I took it money line as well. I do not. Cam Newton, I'm sorry. He should not be a regular quarterback starting, and it'll show throughout the game. Walker should be in, and he should come in and get his certain plays. And he should not be. I thought that was a huge mistake. As soon as I saw that, I was all over the football team there. I think the Panthers had that big win in Arizona. He came back. Dolphins defense is starting to play better. I know they played the Jets last week. They gave up 17. There were some missed field goals on both sides. It was sloppy. But I loved what I saw Thursday night with the Ravens. Time before that, Texans looked really good. They had a bunch of picks. Tyrod Taylor just coming back off injury, but 4 straight unders for them. They lost to the Bills 26-11. The total is low, 42.5. I'm not on it. I do want to look at the team totals here in this game a little bit. I'm with you a tad bit here, Jimmy. I'm with the Dolphins at home. I don't love it. At this point, you could take the 1.5 or then money line. But I'm not backing the Panthers. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, great job. I should have been. There were so many. I went 7-5. I went 7-3 on Sunday, but lost on Thursday night. I lost Monday night. But when I was looking back, it was just glaring mistakes that I should have been on. It should have been a giant week for me. Birdie's already on the under 42.5. That's starting to look like a really smart spot here that I think I'm going to jump in. Babano, take it away.
It's interesting because I was on over the total last week with Carolina, Washington. It got there. And I thought with Cam Newton back, look, Cam Newton's got his flaws. He's not Cam Newton of 5-10 years ago, and he's a borderline fringe, if that, starting quarterback in this league. That being said, he's still probably better than Sam Darnold, at least earlier in the year from what we've seen. So I thought maybe a little jump for the Carolina offense, but I watched that game, and after a great first drive where they went down the field, scored a touchdown, crowd was revved up, Cam Newton was fired up. They didn't do much the rest of the game, that Carolina offense. And that offensive line was without 2 starters. Again, we're talking about another team here, and get used to NFL in late November. That's what you get, cluster injuries in a position group. And right now we've got them with the Carolina offensive line. And they had trouble blocking. Even Christian McCaffrey had a so-so game running the ball because the run blocking wasn't great. The pass protection wasn't great either for Cam Newton. And Washington, even without Chase Young, keep in mind Chase Young didn't play last week. That pass rush of the Washington football team still got home multiple times on Cam Newton in that game. Now, the problem for Miami is they don't generate much of a pass rush. They haven't done that all year, the Miami Dolphins. So that's why this is such a tricky handicap for me. What gives? Miami defensive line that doesn't get pressure, or a Carolina offensive line that often yields pressure to their quarterbacks? Something's got to give there, and I'm not sure who's going to win that matchup. So my theory of Carolina overs, I might put it on the back burner for this week because, if their O-line doesn't play any better this week, I'm not convinced they're going to put up enough points to help that game go over. On the other side of the fence, I don't know with Tua right now what we're going to get because strength of Carolina's defense is up front. They've got Gross Matos there. They got Brian Burns. They've got 2 really good defensive players up front that can get after it. And that's been the one problem with Miami all season long is that Tua has been under pressure. Tua has been under duress. He hasn't been able to set his feet. At the times when he's been under pressure, he's often made a mistake or two with the football. So I thought I'd be rolling with Carolina overs, but I didn't expect that O-line to be as decimated as they were last week against Washington. And now I still cash the over. In spite of that, I'll take it. I'm not giving the money back. But now it's probably going to make me pause a little bit before going back to the well with Carolina over the total here in this one. It's one of those games where if this line stays in the range it's at right now from a side perspective, I will not be on this side. It's one of those games where if Carolina was the dog, I probably would have looked at their side. And if Miami gets to +3, I might look at the Dolphins. But right now, this is a game with no involvement for me.
Real quick, Jimmy, Birdie Panthers D is legit. I think they are. I like these under, and I'm going to look at the team total unders maybe. The Dolphins defense has gotten better. I mean, like I said, against Tyrod Taylor, did you watch that game against Lamar Jackson? That they've gotten better against a quarterback like that, and Cam Newton isn't on their levels. It's interesting. This is 3 straight home games for the Dolphins. This is where they went. Real quick, I think this is where they win a few games here, and this team gets back to they'll end up. I know they play 17 now, but 8 and 9 or something like that. They've won 3 straight. I think they could win a few more. They're at home, so I'm with the Dolphins here a little bit.
Yeah, my question about that Thursday night game was, Miami's defense did play well. Was that their defense just overwhelming Baltimore at the point of attack in the trenches, or was that Baltimore in the ultimate flat spot after, what was it, a come-from-behind overtime win, going on the road short week? That's the one. And
that too.
Ultimate. Yeah.
It was the ultimate flat spot, but Baltimore's been laying some eggs everywhere. They've been getting some wins, a lot of places by a field goal, it seems like, all year long. That's all I see from, and I love both defenses. So it's just not a lot of wiggle room. And it's burned me a little bit when I took in some of these low totals around 43. But that'd be my only look here.
Well, it's good. I'm going to bet it. I'm going to bet the under.
Okay.
I just don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on the Dolphins at this point. And I think I might wait because two things happen. One, I get a better number, or two, I gain more confidence when this becomes a pick 'em. So I don't know if there's even a real. I mean, obviously you'll make a lot more money on it, but with $200 bets, I mean, the money is what, make 15 or 20 more bucks. I'm either going to have more confidence or get a better number. So I'm not concerned on moving on the Dolphin side tonight, although I may. But the under is going to be on my card. Let's roll on. If any of you guys are making anything official just for my record keeping, please let me know. But this won't be like a pub hub record keeping thing or anything. It's just so I can celebrate if you guys have a big day or not. That's the only reason why I'll use it.